what you can see. But I term the whole thing we term as Vijay philosophy. As a philosophy is more appropriate than a vision, and many times I enter into a sort of debate on this one. But today, I'm glad that Professor Singh mentioned that there are better terms than vision. I think he recommended vision. Briefly, I will stick to the guidelines, maybe by 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I prepared this experience of my 15 years into a 15-minute program, but now I will cut it short by 50%. I'll make it 7.5 to 8 minutes. I'll briefly touch Vijay and philosophy, presencing, presentaxing, and design thinking. These are the terms that we from Vijnana Jyoti contribute to the education domain. These are the words presencing, presentaxing, and design thinking are the terms you are going to hear more and more in the next decade in the education line. And our own way of how we transformed our institution using a model known as spectral pyramid, I'll detail it in brief. And then how the leadership, I think the previous speakers talked more about leadership, how the managers, the owners, or the guardians of the institution have to behave in future. I think these are the things that I will touch upon. As I said, it's a not-for-profit organization with code of ethics and commitment. Okay. This is Vijnana Jyoti, at least in Hyderabad, is known for its integrity and ethics in the education domain. This is Vijay philosophy, Vijnana Jyoti philosophy. I have taken the help of a painting by famous Telangana artist, D N Rao, and this painting is known as the eternal flower, which is similar to knowledge. And we built this one, I use the word presencing, I will detail more on it. We have included the individual and collective learning, why people come to classrooms. What is the collective learning that they have here? We have to emphasize on that one. People said ask questions. 60 people in the class, 60 questions, that's knowledge. Encourage asking them questions. And then, when you visit great institutions, you feel, when you are walking in the corridors of the institutions, you feel that sensitivity. That's what we call serendipity. And then, ultimately teaching at the deeper levels of it. Okay, next one please. Presencing, presentaxing, design thinking. I would like you to just think about 3 questions. Why is happiness index so low in the world? Last year it was 122, I think, rank. Today, for the globe, we are come down to 133 in the happiness index. And similarly, the innovation index is so low. I think we are rated at number 60 something. Pathetic. And more important is, in our own institutions, how many of us consciously structure a course that address empathy, care, compassion, success, happiness, more important, and inclusiveness? I think when we restructured, when we got the autonomy for our Vijnana Jyoti, we have restructured the whole philosophy into these questions. Don't we have a sort of saying, can't we ask a question, why are we such an unhappy nation? 133, we had degraded 10 grades last year. Is education has a relevance for it? I think probably these are the questions we ask at our institutions, among the faculty, among the students, among the management. Okay. I think these are directly relevant for education. And next one please. Presencing is, I'm not an educationalist, this one. I got into this by chance. I'm an innovator and an entrepreneur. I designed the first electronic energy meter, multifunctional meter in this country in the year 1994 for the first time in Asia, and I installed it. Okay. That's my background. Okay. So when I was forced to take this job of looking after Vijnana Jyoti, a not-for-profit society, I just visited the classrooms and then I felt a shock. Students were, what is the first thing that you ask? You take attendance and the student says what? Present, sir. Present means what? He is physically present there, but he is present, his will is present, his mind is present, his heart is present. No, he is not present. Probably he is present. On that particular night, I went home and I started writing my diary and I said, I have to correct this lack of presencing. That's what I wrote in my diary, and promptly came that underline, red underline, that the word presencing doesn't exist. Then I said, if it doesn't in English, then that is my contribution to English. And then I persisted with it. And very fortunately and luckily, 7 years later, I started this in 2006 and 2013, I came across an institution of presencing from MIT and Harvard on the same principle. To be present, sense, experience, and extrapolate. These are the 4 words that I would like a teacher to do. Present, the student has to sense, the student has to extrapolate, experience it and extrapolate it. And of course, what Mohan Reddy said this a few minutes ago about design thinking. Nothing is more important in engineering teaching or in any teaching, even the social sciences, about the design thinking. 200 years ago, Sir Arthur Cotton, looking at the Godavari Delta area, the misery of floods, the misery of people, he was present there, he sensed it. He went around the country on a horseback for 1 year, experiencing it. And then he extrapolated it, and with a design thinking, he constructed a barrage of 6 kilometers with 2 islands in between. And today, East Godavari and West Godavari districts are probably the wealthiest in the state, in the combined state. The next example that I have about presencing or lack of presencing is Hyderabad is a beautiful city. It took Hyderabad 400 years to become the old city to become old. Right? We call it old city, but still a beautiful city. The city migrated towards Abbots. You have a beautiful, that round circle at Abbots. It migrated to Abbots. It's still 45 years, it's still beautiful. And today, you have a new center called High-Tech City, and it's 4 years old and it has already become old. Where is that sense of presencing and design thinking? So at a social level, at an engineering product level, design thinking is the most important thing. I'll take 4 more points. And we decided to build all these 3 into the curriculum of using our autonomy at Vijnana Jyoti. We decided to build them into the curriculum. How we did it, we'll explain. Next one. As I said, recently I came across that word presencing and presencing and design thinking. Today you have good institutions like MIT and Harvard and some of the schools having that Institute of Presencing Institute. And then the word that you see, the presence, to be present, sense, experience, and extrapolate in a theory view. This is the most popular book in these recent days for social scientists. And that we have implemented at Vijnana Jyoti. Next one, please. So how we structured the whole course, and incidentally, I don't know how many of you followed the first presentation. I think we have been accredited recently as NAC A++ with 3.73 out of 4. Probably I can claim at this point in time is the best in twin states of Telugu states. Is the best score in Telugu states. Okay. And now how we did this transformation or transforming is through a conscious education process re-engineering. We have addressed all the four quadrants that you are talking about this morning through a spectral pyramid. Next one, please. First phase is excellence in academics, exploration of knowledge through research. Second phase, excitement of innovation and entrepreneurship. Fourth one is exponent of development of a rounded personality, where ultimately a person that whom you are dealing with, a student, has to be successful, happy, contributing to the society. That is the fourth phase we looked after. Next one, please. This is the excellence in academics. You have some music going on, and you have, the point that I'm making is there are two levels of reaching the excellence. One is transforming it, then transcending it. These are two levels. I think we have reached the level of transformation, and hopefully we transcend and become a university very soon. Okay. This is the first phase of academics. Next, please. These are the initiatives that we have taken, and one initiative I will, at the risk of overshooting the time, I will explain it. Wit and will. This is the basics. Wit is, why am I teaching, what am I teaching? The teacher has to mention it. And at the end of the class, we have to say why I'm learning what I'm learning. This is very important. One day I walked into the course and say they were teaching convolution. I asked, why are you teaching convolution? No idea. The other day I walked into the linear algebra course for IT stream. Why are you teaching linear algebra for IT people? No idea. So our concept is, now outcome-based education has become so silly. What are you teaching? I'm teaching convolution. What are you learning? I'm learning convolution. What's the relation? Why you are doing it? Why is more important? So what we have done is, for every syllabus, every course, we have created a scenario where from the subject level to the unit level, to the chapter level, to the section level, we map in that scenario. Why? A chemical plant, maybe, or a supermarket, that will become the core of our subject. And we have now compiling the repository of this wit and will, and I'm sure people who are interested in share, you are welcome to share it from us. We have a repository of these wit and will programs. Okay, next one, please. I concluded. This is how we structure the fourth revolution, industrial revolution that Mr. Mohan Reddy talked about. We actually structured it in our curriculum, and we call them as mezzanine technologies. This is the term that is actually generated by us, and we are taking a trademark on that. I'll run the few slides just for the completeness sake. This is the excitement of research. And where does this is a painting that got it done from an artist. Okay, and go to the next one, please. And here is the word presencing. This is by Capra, a famous physicist. Look at the words that he used. I saw cascades of energy. Saw the cascades of energy. I saw the atoms of the elements. I felt the rhythm, and I heard the sounds. This is what is called presencing. When you are doing your research, you have to see, you have to hear, you have to feel the rhythms. In fact, whenever I come across a faculty getting a PhD, I keep asking, have you seen the God while you are doing PhD? He says, why are you asking me? No, if you didn't see the God, then I will recommend withdrawal of your PhD. The intensity with which you do your PhD at one point in time, you relate your life to the surroundings and to the world. The next one, please. These are some of the high impact anti-nexual training for the commandos we have generated through this research center. A helmet, air conditioning helmet, a student innovated it in this center. And there are many examples. This is innovation and entrepreneurship. If you see the theme, when I started my life, there was no startup. There was only slog up. Today we have a startup, and the life for an entrepreneur is nothing but the troubles that you went through to get through Amrut. And then I think for the short of time, I think I would show just one last slide for your satisfaction. So we give a lot of representation of thought process through pictures and others, and then like what I heard this morning, I think you have to transform the teachers first, and then the students. And finally, my picture in my mind when I run the institution is the last slide that I'm going to show it. The last one, please. The last one. Next one, last one. Last one. Last one. Yeah, this Vienna Vidyate has secured an NAC A+ grade with a 3.73 out of 4 in the second cycle of NAC. Okay. And then I will tell you to us. This is a personal note. No, please. As a manager managing the institution, I think this is the slide that I present. Most of our students come from a rural background, and this picture depicts our students. Most of them in a rural background, sitting on a temple tree, imagining themselves with a flying planes that they are going abroad with education. And we cater, take these students, make their dreams true. And last year, 800 of our students were able to fulfill this dream of flying out. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. Really appreciate the efforts. May I request Mr. Amit Chowdhury, people link.